Let us recall some mathematical terms related to parallel lines cut by a transversal. Let's start with the parallel lines. These are lines, or these are coplanar lines that will never meet however far they are extended. So if these two lines lie on the same plane and will never meet however far they produce, then these two lines are said to be parallel. This arrow, blue arrow here, if they are facing in the same side, this indicates that the two lines are parallel. Supplementary angles means the sum of these angles makes 180 degrees. Since these two angles, if we're going to add them, 80 plus 100, it makes 180. So these two angles are said to be supplementary angles. Linear pairs are adjacent angles with a sum of 180 degrees. So 120-degree angle and 60-degree angle are said to be adjacent angles because they share one common ray here. So it means they are adjacent, and if we're going to add them, 120 plus 60, it makes 180. Therefore, these two angles are said to be linear pairs. Notice that it forms a straight line. And linear pairs are also supplementary angles. Vertical angles are opposite angles, or are angles opposite each other when two lines intersect. So let's say we have an intersecting lines here. This 60-degree angle and the other angle are vertical angles, and they are congruent. Then the other pair of angles, the upper and the lower angles, are vertical angles as well, and they are congruent. Now, let's say we have two lines, and there's another line intersects these two lines. This line that intersects the two lines is what we call a transversal line. And if these two lines intersected by a transversal line happens to be a parallel lines, then these angles here will have an angle relationship. So let us name the angles 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So these angle pairs are, let's start with the corresponding angles. Angles 1 and 5 are said to be corresponding angles. So this angle here and right here, they are called the corresponding angles. The other corresponding angles are 2 and 6, this angle here and right here. The angles 4 and 8, they are also corresponding. And lastly, angle 3 and angle 7. And these corresponding angles are said to be congruent. The other angle pairs are what we call the same side interior angles. So same side, that's angle 4 and angle 5. So notice that this angle 4 and angle 5, they are on the same side. They are on the left side of this transversal line, and they are located inside these parallel lines. That's why it's called same side interior angles. The other same side interior angles are angle 3 and angle 6. And these same side interior angles are said to be supplementary. It means if we're going to add them, it makes 180 degrees. And if you want to get the same side exterior angles, so these angles are located outside the parallel lines, and these are angle 1 and angle 8, angle 2 and angle 7, and they are also supplementary. The other angle pairs are what we call the alternate interior angles. So one of it is the angle 4 and angle 6, this one right here. So notice that they are located alternately in the left and right side of this transversal line, and they are both inside the parallel lines. That's why it's called interior. And the other alternate interior angles are angle 3 and angle 5. And these alternate interior angles are said to be congruent. It means they have the same angle measure. And lastly, the alternate exterior angles. So similarly, they are located on the left and right of this transversal line, but their location is outside these parallel lines here. So one of the pair is angle 1 and angle 7. They are said to be alternate interior angles. The other pair is angle 2 and angle 8. And these alternate exterior angles are congruent with each other. It means they have the same measure. Now, if one of the angles is given, let's say this angle right here is 100 degrees, it is possible to get the measurement of the remaining angles of these parallel lines cut by a transversal. So applying the corresponding angles, so if this is 100, this will be 100 as well. or you can use the vertical angle theorem. If this is 100, its vertical angle is also 100 degrees. Since this angle right here is a linear pair to this angle, so since linear pair are supplementary, so this should be 80 degrees for it to become a sum of 180 degrees. And its vertical angle here is also 80 degrees since they are congruent. Now, if you want to get the measure of this angle, since it is just corresponding to this angle, and corresponding angles are said to be congruent, so therefore, this is also 100 degrees. Its vertical angle is 100 degrees. Its linear pair is 80 degrees, and its vertical angle is also 80 degrees.